The measures of central tendency. A measure of central tendency, also referred to as measures of centry or central location, is a summary measure that attempts to describe a whole set of data with a single value that represents the middle or century of its distribution. There are three main measures of central tendency: the mode, the median, and the mean. Each of these measures describes a different indication of the typical or central value in the distribution. The mean, mode, and median are valid measures of central tendency but under different conditions. One measure becomes more appropriate than the others. For example, if the scores are extremely high and extremely low. The median is a better measure of central tendency since mean is affected by extremely high and extremely low scores.
Good day everyone, this is Kim and our topic for today is all about the mean. So the mean is one of the valid measures of central tendency. The mean, or what they call the average or arithmetic mean, is the most popular and most well-known measure of central tendency. So if you're going to get the mean of a set of data like scores, all you have to do is to add all the values in the data set divided by the number of values in the data set. So to further understand on how to get the mean, we have here an example. For example, 10 students in a graduate school class got the following score in a 100-item test: 70, 72, 75, 77, 78, 80, 84, 87, 90, and 92. So to get the mean score of the group of 10 students, the first thing you need to do is to get the sum of all of their scores. In getting the sum, of course, you need to add their scores. So let's add their scores. The scores that is indicated above is this. So let's add this one. So let's add 70 plus 72 plus 75 plus 77 plus 78 plus 80 plus 84 plus 87 plus 90 plus 92. And that would be equal to 805. So 805 divided by 10, since 10 is the number of students in a graduate school class who got the following scores in a 100-item test, and this is the number of values in this given data set. So 805 divided by 10 is equal to 80.5. And this is the average score of the group, or this is the mean. So if the mean or the average score of the group is 80.5, there are 6 scores below the average score or the mean of the group, which is the 70, 72, 75, 77, 78, and 80. And there are 4 scores above the average score, which is the 84, 87, 90, and 92. So that's how you get the mean of a data set, and I hope you learned something today. Thanks for watching.
Good day everyone, I am Daisy Mobe, and for today's video, I'm going to tackle about when not to use mean. The mean has one main disadvantage. It is particularly susceptible to the influence of outliers. These are values that are unusual compared to the rest of the dataset by being especially small or large in numerical value. For example, consider the scores of 10 grade 12 students in a 100-item statistic test below. For the score of student 1 is 5, student 2 38, 3 56, 4 65, 5th, 67, and so on and so forth. The mean score of the group of 10 students is the sum of all their scores divided by 10. So the mean, therefore, is 621 divided by 10 is equals to 62.1. The mean score for these 10 grade 12 students is 62.1. However, inspecting the raw data suggests that this mean score may not be the best way to accurately reflect the score of the typical grade 12 students. As most students have scores in the 5 to 95 range, the mean is being swayed by the extremely low and extremely high score. Therefore, in this situation, we would like to have a better measure of central tendency. As we will find out later, taking the median would be a better measure of central tendency in this situation. So in this situation kay dili mean ang atong gamiton para ma-measure ang ilahang central tendency. The mean can only be used on interval and ratio levels of measurement because it requires equal spacing between adjacent values or scores in the scale.
Hello everyone, it's me again, your teacher Jessa, and I will be discussing about median. So, what is median? The median is the middle score for a set of scores from lowest to highest, the extremely low and extremely high scorer. And how do we find the median? Suppose we have the following data: 65, 55, 89, 56, 35, 14, 56, 55, 87, 45, and 92. So, there are 11 numbers. And to determine the median, first we have to rearrange the scores into order of magnitude from smallest to largest. 14, 35, 45, 55, 55, 56, 56, 65, 87, 89, and 92. Our median is the score at the middle of the distribution. In this case, 56. It is the middle score since there are 5 scores before it and 5 scores after it. This works fine when you have an odd number. But what happens when you have an even number of scores? What if you had 10 scores below? Let us still use the following data above, which is the 11 numbers. But now, let us scratch out the 92 to make it 10 numbers. So, we have 14, 35, 45, 55, 55, 56, 56, 65, 87, and 89. Arrange that data according to order of magnitude. So 14 to 89 has already been arranged from smallest to largest. Then take the middle 2 scores. So the middle 2 scores is 55 and 56. And compute the average of the 2 scores. The median is 55.5. And now that we have found the median, this gives us a more reliable picture of the tendency of the scores. There are indeed scores of 55 and 56 in the score distribution. Do you have any questions about median? If none, then I will now give the screen to the next reporter.
So for the continuation of our topic, allow me to tackle the last part of the measure of the central tendency, which is all about the mode. So the first thing we need to know is to define what is mode. So the mode is the most frequent score in our data set. So from the highlight word there, most frequent, means that the repeated numbers of scores, or shall we say kasagaran mo nay daghan nakakuhaan na nga score, right? So on a histogram or bar chart, it represents the highest score or the highest bar. So if is a score of the number of times an option is chosen in a multiple choice test. So you can therefore sometimes consider the mode as being the most popular option. Mode is considered to be one of the main concepts in statistics, and it helps students to identify which is one value that occurs most frequently. Vedanto also explains all about the topic of mode and how these topics will help you learn more about statistics and general. In statistics, mode or modal value is that observation which occurs at the maximum time or has the highest frequency in the given set of data. The mode is derived from the French word la mode, which means fashionable. A given set of data may have one or more than one mode. Unimodal. It is a set of numbers with one mode rather. Bimodal. A set of numbers having two modes. Trimodal. A set of numbers having three modes. And the last one is multimodal. It is any set of numbers having four or more than four modes. By the way, these four is the different types of modes. So I have a questions here. How do you determine the mode of a set of data? Take note, there are two different kinds of data that we need to be considered. And these are ungrouped data and grouped data. When we say ungrouped data, it is not organized into one classes, whereas group data, it is organized into classes. So here's the following that we need to do in order to determine the mode. First, we need to determine the observation that appears the most times in ungrouped data. Observation with the highest frequency is referred to as mode. Second, a modal value might or might not exist for a particular data set. There can be no mode at all for data with no repeated values. We can also find data in one mode, two modes, three modes, or numerous modes based on the data. And the last one, depending on the number of modes, a data set can be unimodal, binomodal, trinomodal, and or multimodal. So let's move on into the example. So we have here 14, 35, 45, 55, 55, 56, 56, 65, 87, and 89. So as we can observe the data set, there are two numbers nga nagbalik-balik, right? And these are 55 and 56. This is the most frequent scores. And this two is our mode here. So kay duha man nga mode ang atong nakit-an dere sa dataset given, the types of mode is bimodal. That's how to get the mode. So for our next subtopic that we need to discuss is all about the normal and skewed distributions. And now I'm going to giving the floor for the next reporter.
Good day everyone, I am Cyril Kusi. Today, I will going to discuss about normal and skewed distribution. So first, what is normal distribution? So normal distribution is a distribution that has most of the data in the center with decreasing amount evenly distributed to the left and the right. What is skewed distribution? Skewed distribution is this distribution with data clumped on one side or other with decreasing amount trailing off the left and the right.
Why is this important to know?
The 6 statistics you are about to learn are measures of central tendency, the mean, the median, and the mode. So, along with measures of spread, the range, standard deviation, and interquartile range. The mean and the standard deviation best describe the nature of a normal distribution, whereas the median and the interquartile range best describe skewed distribution. In the skewed distributions, there are two directions: the negative direction or the negative skew and positive direction or the positive skew. As you can see in the middle of the illustrations, the normal curve represents a perfectly symmetrical distribution. First, we have negative skew. So when we talk about skew, we look at where on the graph the long tail lies. So if the long tail is on the left, we say the skew is negative. So it is heading towards the negative end of the x-axis. So you will see that the mean is less than the median, which is less than the mode. Next is positive skew. So if the long tail is on the right, we say skew is positive. It is heading towards the positive end of the x-axis. And you will see that the mode is less than the median, which is less than the mean.
For the continuation, we will tackle the figure 15, which is the positively skewed distribution. So what is positively skewed distribution? It is a type of distribution in which most value are clustered around the left tail of the distribution, while the right tail of the distribution is longer. It shows there that if the mean is greater than the median and the mode, then the score or the distribution is positively skewed. In order for you to understand and know how to get the positively skewed distribution, I will show an example for you to be guided. So I have here some sets of scores from 11 students on their midterm examination. So how to get the positively skewed distribution in the mean, median, and mode? To know or to get the positively skewed distribution, we will solve first the mean, the median, and the mode. But before getting or solving that, we need to make or arrange first the data that we have collected. So as all you can see there's a cell and a letter A. So the cell, it represents the number of the students, while the letter A, it presents the score of each student. And this is how you arrange your data. After arranging your data, we can now start getting the mean, the median, and the mode. And since my group mates have already discussed us on how to get the mean, the median, and the mode, I will directly get the mean without showing my calculations to all of you. So the mean is 35.5, the median is 35, and the mode is 34. Since we already get the mean, the median, and the mode, we will proceed on making a graph. In the graph, we will put there the score test and the number of the students. After putting those, we will mark or make a dot on how many students have got 33 points and so on. And then, we will connect the dots and there you can properly see the graph. Then after connecting the dots, we will now find the mean. And since it is 35.5, then we will mark the 35.5. And same goes to the median and the mode. So as you can see there, the right tail is longer than the left, and the mean is greater than both median and the mode. That's why it is positively skewed distribution. That's all. Thank you for listening.